together, hand in hand, united we rise across the land. Sound of freedom, oh so loud, revolution in the crowd, shaking ground, winds of change, feel it all rearrange. Never give up, never give in. We fight for freedom. We fight for America. We fight for America. We fight for the American dream. No more will we waver. No more will we take it on the cheap. We fight for the American dream. No more will we waver. No more will we take it on the team. Oh, will we take it on the team?
Here are a few reasons to support DC Intel. 1. Timely updates. Get the latest breaking news and intelligence updates as they happen. 2. Reliable information. Depend on us for accurate and credible news sources. 3. Insightful analysis. Gain deeper understanding with our expert analysis and comprehensive coverage. 4. Community engagement. Join a community of informed and engaged individuals who care about current events. 5. Transparency. We are committed to transparency in all our reporting, helping you to see the bigger picture. 6. Convenience. Stay informed on the go with easy access to updates through our social media platforms. Supporting DC Intel means staying informed and connected with the news that impacts our nation.
We would like to invite you to become a DC Guardian. A Guardian is someone who supports us with a gift of $10 a month. And you will also receive a beautiful DC decal so you can post your support. And also you will get email updates for Guardians only. Plus special discounts on products and functions and conferences to come. Please click on the donate button on our eiobn.com website to support. Once again, on behalf of the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network, thank you.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance.
Every generation stands on the shoulders of the generation that went before. And so you see farther because you're standing taller than we did and can look farther. But Reed, at least give us the credit that you're seeing farther because you're standing on our shoulders. We don't have inflation because the people are living too well. We have inflation because the government is living too well.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed and to which we are committed today at home and around the world.
If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. Embrace that label. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. And always have the courage to be yourself.
Sound of freedom, oh so loud. Revolution in the crowd. Shaking ground, winds of change. Feel it all, rearrange. Voices rising, hearts beating. Hope in the air, never retreating. A new day dawning, colors bright. Embracing the change, feel it right. Sound of freedom, oh so loud. Revolution in the crowd. Shaking ground, winds of change. Feel it all, rearrange. Break the chains, break the mold. Embrace the future, bold and bold. Stand together, hand in hand. United we rise across the land. Sound of freedom, oh so loud. Revolution in the crowd. Shaking ground, winds of change. Feel it all, rearrange.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Black Friday. That's right, it is, right? Black Friday. Yep. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah. Great Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's full of turkey. And, yeah, sound of freedom. Pass me the gravy. Yeah. Sounds of freedom is obese. Oh my God. Anyway, today, rare form today. Been crazy, been great. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I just had me a small piece of cake and, well, about 30 minutes ago. And, got me a nice, drink sitting here and all good. So, hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully no one got in fist fights over the table, over the turkey, or over politics. Wow. just good time. I fixed a bunch of stuff. And actually had some friends that actually were coming through town from Detroit, and had them to stay over, and we all had nothing. They all had food, and I had exhaustion. So I fixed all kinds of stuff, man. I actually fixed 2 turkeys. Not that you tuned in today to hear what I fixed, but guess what? It's my show. I'll tell you what I want to. Yeah, I fixed a bunch of stuff. I don't do too much on desserts and nothing like that. And then after all that, sat down and let the turkey set in and did my Darth Vader. Not really. Started watching Christmas movies. And sat there with my pups. And then got up, fixed 2 big old platter things, and went to the hospital to see my mom. And took him in there to her. Of course, I had to wake her up. She was on another machine because her oxygen keeps dropping. And I went down and talked to the nurses station. They told me, for those of you asking about my mom, guess what? You get to hear today. Talked to them. They was very nice because we moved to a different floor. They don't have assholes up there. And very sweet to me, very nice. And said, hey, you brought food for her? If you don't mind, we'll come in there and take her off the machine so she can have Thanksgiving with you. Sure. Went in there, woke my mom up, and my mom was like a lion that had been in a cave for 20 years. Going crazy. So I was like, Mom, let me at least get a picture with you for Thanksgiving and get your meal. Pass me that cake. Pass me. I was like, eat the turkey first. I don't want the turkey, I want the cake. All right, whatever you want. So she got cake, lots of cake, and it was hilarious. Did all that, and then she dived into her turkey and all that good stuff and was eating all that. And I'm not going to lie. The only thing I could think of, man, shoo, these nurses are about to get the run for their money tonight. Oh, my mom. But anyways, let's see here. Filling a trailer with generators and toys today. Awesome. Rosebud, where are you taking it to? Where are you taking it to there, Rosebud? Your trailer with generators and toys today. We actually have a bunch of people that's taking stuff up to North Carolina here in a couple weeks. So we actually had someone reach out to us, and they had like over 1,000 toys they were going to give us, and then that got just canned. I don't know what happened. It just didn't happen. And we've had several people, but for some reason it all fell out. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, did that. Spent that with my mom. Then my sibling come in, and all their families and all that came in, and they brought pies and everything else. So my mom was probably on the highest sugar rush last night ever, which I may be good for. I don't know. Maybe pretty good for. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, yes, I'm just rambling about Thanksgiving, but we'll get started here in a second because it's my show. And I don't know if everybody's in a great big hurry today. Black Friday, lots of things going on in our nation. More than just going, hey, look, Walmart got a vacuum cleaner on sale for $50. More than that, for the Guardians, I did get several emails from people saying, hey, I really wanted to call in. I didn't get there in time, or yada, yada, yada. Towards the end of the show today, we're going to do call-ins again for our Guardians, and we're going to talk about what we're thankful for. Since we got, even though it's Black Friday, we still got today. We got the rest of our life to celebrate for Thanksgiving. What we're thankful, but today we're going to make it known what we really are thankful for. Put it out there, make it plain, right? Yeah. So got to spend time with mom, and then my mom must have been feeling a little bit better because this morning, I got her demon dog, right? Oh, Lordy, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. I have Yorkie poos. I have 2 Yorkie poos, and then I have a golden doodle, and it wasn't meant to be that way, but that's what I got. And then I have her doodle that I bought for her about a year ago, which he was solid black. Now he's turned silver. Beautiful, beautiful. But he is like a dog that's running on crack all the time, just all over the place. But yeah, I have a heart too, guys. Believe it or not, there's a sensitive side to DC. I got my one dog. I'll tell you the story. We're just going to do the show a little different today, if it's okay. I guess we don't really have a choice, right? But anyways, yeah. So my dog, my first one, my dad had passed. I was grieving pretty bad, grieving really bad. And so holidays are always hard. It's hard for people that have lost loved ones. Matter of fact, one of my friends, she had text me yesterday evening and told me that her mother had been killed in an automobile accident. And so, I mean, it's like, man, the holidays, it's crazy. And not only that, there's several other people that's had. If you all remember, the Diddy show we did, we actually had one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends in here. Her and her husband are the ones that was coming through Detroit that stayed over and had Thanksgiving dinner with DC. You know what I'm saying? I run with a bad crowd sometimes, right? I run with a good crowd too. But anyways, but they're going back up to Detroit in a couple of days because her niece was murdered. Her niece was murdered. And her boyfriend, I can't go into all the details, but I can tell you this. The boyfriend come in the house, started arguing with her. She went to walk out of the house. He shot her in the back. She fell down on the sidewalk. He come down out of the house, grabs her by the hair of the head, and shoots a point blank between the eyes. Kills her. And then after that, he shoots her again in the face and then turns the gun on himself and kills himself. It is crazy in America. But anyway, back to my dog. It's nuts, man. You got so much stuff going on. I'll get to my roll call here in a second, but thank you so much for reminding me, guys. But anyway, yeah, we have a lot to be thankful for because there's a lot of people right now that are in grief and strife, and especially the Democratic Party. They're still just trying to scratch their head and their butt. Not that you can really tell the difference between which is which with them, but trying to figure out how in the world they lost this election. And it's really plain and simple. America's just tired of you Democrats. They're just tired of them, tired of all the stupid stuff. And that's how it is. But anyway, back to my dog, right? This is Black Friday, talking about DC's dog. At least the first part of it is. Yeah, so my dog, grieving over my dad. Very hard loss there. My father and I, we were very, very close. I mean, like every day we were together. Every day, at least 4 times a week, we would go out for dinner, and I would always take him and my mother out and pay for them for dinner. Trying to, even on Sundays after church, whatever, I'd go make sure I got my dad and my mom and take them to eat because I knew he was on a limited income. Plus, also, you don't have time. You don't even have time these days for arguments. You don't have time these days for who's right, who's wrong. Because at the end of the day, it really don't matter. What matters is that we have our sanity and we have relationships. And some people are just hard. But anyways, that's the kind of relationship I have with my dad. And so after my dad passed, I was grieving really hard. And one of my friends was a breeder of Yorkie poos. And so contacted him. I said, yep, we got 2 left. So I picked one dog. And then she ends up calling me back and says, hey, that one's taken, but I have the runt. The runt. I can get that one for you. Okay, I'll take him. The best decision of my life. I'm not kidding you. Well, besides my kids. But my God. And he's my best friend. And Steinway will be 3 this coming year. But anyways, great dog. Still my buddy. Well, then about 3-4 months later, something like that, breeder calls me and says, hey, the first dog that you wanted is available. Well, I thought she was adopted out. She was, but the people had pit bulls and was trying to kill her. And plus she couldn't eat, so she was becoming very malnourished. I said, well, send me a picture. Sends me a picture of this scrawny little, almost barely 3 pounds, little Yorkie poo. I said, I'll get her. I'll take her. Well, when you want her? I said, I'm on my way. Took me about 3 hours to get there. I get the little doggy. I took Steinway with me. And her name is Symphony. Steinway and Symphony. And so it's crazy. Had her. I was like, this is it. No more dogs in my house because I just built a brand new home. Nope. This is it. And about a year and a half ago, I had a friend call me and go, hey, can you help me find a home for my dog? What's wrong with your dog? Well, she is a golden doodle, but we're never home. He has a job. His wife has a job. They got a new baby on the way, and they have no time. So the dog stayed caged pretty much 24/7, which is pretty bad on inhumane, to be honest with you. But anyways, yeah, you know what? Bring her to me. I'll try to find her home. He brings her to me, literally drops her off at the business. And it's like, okay. And I said, you gonna miss her? Nope. See you later. And this golden doodle, even though she had been caged all this time and was so just pushed back, she went to the door. There was a glass door at the time. And she went there and she stood there and watched the owners get in the car and drive away. And she cried and cried and cried. Oh my God. The soft side of me, right? I was like, oh my God. Oh. I mean, I was like, oh, this is, oh God. You know, I've seen some really crazy shit in my life. Some tough stuff, and you have to just learn to just deal with it and move on. Not that you're inhumane, it's just the way it is. And so, anyways, I was like, come here. Her name was Lila. Come here, Lila. She just growled at me. Good boy. And finally she took off and ran through the business and went and hid underneath some chairs. Well, literally, normally I'd be like pissed off, get in here and go, grab me. You got to show a dog who's boss, right? So anyways, I go in there. I felt so sorry. I know y'all are like, what the frick is he talking about? Talking about my dog, daggone it. It's Thanksgiving. I'm telling you what I'm thankful for. Anyway, so I get down there and I lay on the floor with Lila, and I have to crawl underneath some chairs. And I laid there for about 3.5 hours. No lie. Just laying there talking to her, trying to love on her. Couldn't touch her because every time I get within touching, she'd go, and I was scared to crap was she's going to bite my hand off. Then finally, after about 3.5 hours, she let me pet her. And I ended up petting her, getting the collar on, getting, leash on her. Finally took her to the car, got her back home. And she's never left my house. And Lila is DC's baby. One of them. Okay, so Steinway's my buddy, and I tell him all the time. He always climbs up every morning, climbs up in my arms, wants me to hug him, love him, and I call him. I say, you want your morning loves? And he just lays there and wants me to love on him. Symphony just wants to stick her tongue in your ear, in your nose, or in your mouth, and she's just all hyper, but she's very, very sweet. And Lila is the same way. Lila comes up at nighttime. She's the nighttime love dog. She comes up, gets on the bed, and then lays there and just puts her head against you and just wants you just to love on her. And she loves her daddy. So with mom's dog up in here, that's been like a tornado because he's on crack all the time. So, but anyway, I don't even know why I told you all that, but guess what? It was free. Yeah. So pretty much Symphony's rescue and what's the other one? Lila. Yeah, Lila's a rescue. And this other dog, Samson, oh my God. Oh. She should have named him Hunter Biden because he's snorted a bunch of coke and running crazy everywhere. Anyways, so yeah, my dad used to tease me when I was a kid. He'd be like, God, man, because he's like, you're crazy. You come home, I'm like, Dad, oh God, look at this. This is a true story. Y'all like my true stories. I'm thankful I don't have rabies. I'm thankful I don't have some disease because when I was a kid, I'd come home and go, Dad, look. Oh, look, it's Dad, this animal. And my dad go, DC, that's a river rat. Go bury it in the backyard. And our backyard is like, every time you go in the backyard, you hear you can close your eyes and you just hear the sound of taps. Because there's dogs, cats, rabbits, rats, birds, anything else. I loved animals. So yeah, you get to hear all that good stuff, right? Anyway. See, I'm not the biggest. I am a badass, but I'm a sensitive one. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm gonna beat somebody, I'm gonna beat him with a true heart. But anyway, it's all funny. It's all funny. But yeah, had lots of animals out there. When I was younger, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. And I literally started working at a veterinarian clinic when my dad's best friends was a veterinarian. Started working there and loved it. Loved every part of it except for the fact of cleaning up the dog poop in the kennels. But other than that, it's all good. So I've had all kinds of animals. But yeah, my dad, man. So thank you so much for your special your dad and your special memory. Yeah, absolutely. Grieving is a process. There was a friend of mine several years ago, and it was another devastating loss. And he was a pastor. It was about 2005. Yeah, I think it's 2005. And he actually pastored in Waco, Texas. No, it wasn't the Koresh guy. He pastored there, and he pastored out there, and they had purchased an old grocery store. Y'all know if y'all may remember this. He purchased an old grocery store, and they had converted it, into a church. And as they converted into a church, they changed electric, all these other things. Some things did not get changed over. And one Sunday, his name was Kyle Lake. And he was like, we was in our 30s at the time. And he went to get into baptism tank to baptize someone. And there was a short in the electrical, and it electrocuted him to death in the baptismal tank. Pretty bad. But with, and you know what? And I always kind of keep this little saying with me. And matter of fact, I'll try to read you this without breaking up a little bit. Okay. I know y'all devastated they hadn't read your state yet, but it's okay. But the last thing, and this is the thing, it's so crazy because he read this at his last sermon and went to baptize someone and passed away. But for those that are grieving in this season, it says, live and live well. Breathe in and breathe deeply. Be present. Do not be in the past. Do not even be in the future, but be in right now. On a crystal clear, breezy, 70-degree day, roll down the windows and just feel the wind against your skin. Feel the warmth of the sun. And if you run, then allow those first few breaths on a cool autumn day to freeze your lungs. But don't be alarmed. Just be alive. Go knee deep in a novel and lose track of time. If you bike, pedal hard. And if you're going to crash very well. Feel the satisfaction of a job well done and a paper well written. A project thoroughly completed, or a play well performed. And if you wipe the snot from your 3-year-old child's nose, don't be disgusted or alarmed if the Kleenex did not catch it all, because soon, someday, that child will be wiping yours. And if you've recently experienced loss, then grieve. And if you're going to grieve very well. And at the table with friends and family, if you're going to laugh, just laugh hard. And if you're eating and laughing at the same time, and then you might as well laugh so hard until you puke. And if you eat, then smell the aromas. These are not just impediments, but these are impediments to your day. If it's steak on the grill, coffee beans freshly ground, cookies in the oven, just smell. And if you're going to taste very well. Taste every ounce of flavor. Taste every ounce of flavor of friendships, of life. Taste every ounce of life, because life is most definitely a gift. And that's what he read. And then, what happened. It was very devastating. But yeah, if you're going to grieve well. And a lot of people, with me, when my dad had passed, it was like I said, it was very traumatic experience. I mean, someday we'll go into it, and I'll tell you just exactly how, why the harshness of healthcare that I have and believe towards that profession. But we'll get to that. It was just very tough. But anyway, moving on. We're getting back to our old segments of Asshole of the Day. An Asshole of the Day, once again, is Reverend Rambo. Reverend Rambo. He corrected me, and he was like, what I said the other day, that money being the root of all, that is not factual. That is not, because the Bible says that the love of money. Okay, Dingleberry. I appreciate the nails in my hands, and I appreciate the cross you're trying to put me on. But I don't sit back. If there's dumb people out there, he's just one of them. And always wanting to correct, always want, and it's those that always want to correct or always want to find error in someone. And so I just want to say today, congratulations to Reverend Rambo. Once again, my friend, you have elevated up to Asshole of the Day, and we're so grateful to have you and all your sarcasm coming up here. Anyways, yeah. All right, so some of you have asked about the other day when I played a whole thing about Kim Clement, and he was talking back in 2014, 17, between those. Don't have the exact name for him, about XRP. He was prophesying that. Someone asked me if it's something good to invest in or whatever. Now, I wouldn't throw all my money that way, but I will tell you this. XRP, I would say, well, it was, when I bought into it and was doing some stuff with it, it was at 49 cents. And right now it's at $1.78. So that just shows you how different it is. With my return today wasn't huge, but it was like $270.95. Well, that's better than, it's better than what it was. So anyways, that is something that if you're looking to invest, I would look into it a little bit. I would not, throw everything you have into that. Diversify, I get it, all that. So anyways, because he's destructing the truth. Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't, and I told him, I said, oh, thank you so much. Someone's asked me about Reverend Rambo, some douchebag that harasses. But anyways, I don't proclaim to be a scholar. And I told him, I said, oh, thank you so much, oh godly scholar, or something like that. And he's like, well, thank you so much for acknowledging me in that. And but I just figured I'd go a little bit further and publicly acknowledge him as being a complete asshole. But thank you very much. So happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to play you this real quick here, just because I can. And yeah, we'll just do this. Because of Thanksgiving, I just wanted to play this.
And a little moved. Love to eat turkey. Love to eat turkey. Love to eat turkey, 'cause it's good. Love to eat the turkey like a good boy should, 'cause it's turkey to eat so good. A turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat turkey in a big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Eat that turkey all night long. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. Turkey, turkey dee, turkey, turkey dap. I eat the turkey and I take a nap. Thanksgiving is a special night. Jimmy Walker used to say dynamite. That's right. Turkey with the gravy and the cranberry. Can't believe the Mets traded Darryl Strawberry. Turkey for you and a turkey for me. Can't believe Tyson gave the girl BD. gobble dee, a gobble gobble ducky. I used to go to camp at Lake Winnipesaukee. Come on, Kevin.
No, that's okay.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Okay.
Turkey for me and a turkey for you. Let's feed the turkey in a big brown shoe. Turkey tea and a turkey dumpling. Love to eat the turkey with a lot of stuffing. Turkey and sweet.
That is Saturday Night Live, back when Saturday Night Live was actually funny, and wasn't so political and so just douchebaggy. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So anyway, so yeah. Hope you had the great Thanksgiving. And we'll jump into some other stuff here. So something I saw was just pretty freaking cool. Was actually Morgan and Morgan, the founder of that, John Morgan, on Wednesday was actually on Fox News and was talking about, of course, everybody's got to talk about the politics and all this other stuff. And one of the things he said that Barron Trump, Donald Trump's son, he anyway, he said that he himself, he now he's not a pervert, so don't ever go there. But he's saying, he looks like a runway model. He's been actually pushing his father, Barron has, to try to go on the podcast with Joe Rogan. And he also said that Barron Trump, which we kind of already know this, and after things cool down, after the inauguration and some other things that are going to take place, after that cools down, we will dive back into what I've been working on, with the blueprint for the next president. We may even, I've kind of tossed it around because there's some stuff I really want to say without publicly giving it all away. And that may be something we do at our Christmas deal that we're going to be having in Tennessee on the 16th of December. And so, but anyways, he was saying that the brains behind pretty much this last election, there was key people and all stuff, but he was talking about how involved Barron Trump is into the success of his father again this time. And he said, everybody's underestimating Barron. Everybody is underestimating him. He's very, very smart. He's very brilliant. He's going to school now, going to college, but he's very, very brilliant. And not only that, he said, I will go on to say this. Kamala Harris and her campaign really underestimated this whole Trump thing this last time, because he said because Barron Trump is smarter than the whole Harris campaign altogether. And I believe this. I do believe that because, well, we'll talk about it at a later date, right? But Barron is very brilliant. And, Dan Scavino, I know you listen to the show sometimes. Tell Barron I want to interview him. What we got here? Okay. And so, anyway, we talked about, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, about the whole ceasefire with Israel and all that junk. And so much for a ceasefire. Israel is warning residents on both sides now, that even though the ceasefire has appeared to largely, quote, be holding, but, it's unclear how many hundreds of thousands of Lebanese and tens of thousands of Israelis could return to their home in the near future. But be careful, because something still may take place here. And I'm like, okay, a ceasefire means be done. But yet now we're still warning, going, hey, we don't know if something's going to take off, what's going to happen. Well, you would think that they would say ceasefire is ceasefire. But evidently, these people don't know how to read and don't know how to understand what's being told to them. Of course, they are from Banana Land, Cuckoo. Yeah. And so we also talked about several months ago about the Venezuelan gangs going in, that was the big thing, going into the apartment complexes and taking over and all that stuff, and how the police was big pussies and wouldn't take care of them. And how they were doing that. Well, just so you know, when people say, well, I don't see nothing going on. The reason why it kind of closed up and vanished like a fart in the wind is because the gangs, there's been pressure put on them. Not from other gangs, but from federal agents. Say that. U.S. Marshals, FBI, other deals, other teams, tactical teams that are part of different deals. Been pressure put on them, and it has been. And so they've been running. And of course, this past week, a lot of the members were arrested. Also, not only that, now here's the thing, they're out in, where was it, Colorado or wherever it's at, all out there. But answer me this, they all come back to New York, and that's where they got arrested. That's where they got caught and got arrested. This is on Wednesday. And, why would they come back to New York? Okay, why would they come back? Because that's where their buddies are. They're going to come back there. You have to understand that because we didn't see, or you didn't see, sorry, somebody text. Anyways, because you didn't see things happening, or you didn't hear it on your mainstream media that don't tell the truth, that someday will, didn't mean that nothing was happening. It was happening. But these guys come back to New York because that's where a bunch of them are, and that's where they're, being held at. It's going to continue. It's going to continue. But not only that, they're not going to stay housed in our jails much longer. Those that are being caught, they're not going to. If they've done damage here, like those that have done rape and murder and all, and yeah, there should be a price to pay for taking over housing complex and all that stuff. But they're going home. They're going home. I can tell you that. They're going home. They don't belong here. They're not going to stay here. And even if they would stay here, we got a new sheriff in town. And once he's sworn in, there's a lot, their heads are going to spin. They're going to roll. Not just with Venezuelan, you got cartel, you got all these different things. And if we could get the politicians, if we could get the cartel out of the pockets of the politicians, we'd be good. We'd be good. We could handle it. There is a very, very, very small town. And when I say a small town, I'm not going to tell you the name of it because it'll just give away too much. But it was a very small town of we're talking like maybe 1,000, if that, 700 to 1,000 residents within that town. Very small town. And that town, I was doing a little investigation thing on it, and what happened is that town had ties to cartel, ties to the cartel in that, and so anyway, they're everywhere. But the thing is it's politicians that are letting them do that. Anyway, so The View, y'all know, y'all like The View, right? I'm gonna play you something. Of course, now now that they realize they've lost the election and Kamala's not coming back, because of course the other day when she did her little thing, she was drunk as a money, had bed head and everything, bed hair and all that stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna play you this. I want you to listen to this.
That he was running again to be president, partially because he wants to sort of milk money out of the government, which is what he did the first time. He was running to stay out of jail. That's right. That's what he was doing. If we're being honest, okay. And it worked. But let me say the other thing I want to say is, a lot of people are blaming Merrick Garland and saying, why did he take so long? And they're blaming the Department of Justice. Why did they take so long? As an alum of the Department of Justice, I want to make it clear that these cases generally take between 2 and 4 years to prosecute. I know that sounds crazy, but think about how many witnesses, including yourself, who testified in front of that House committee. 1,000.
Yeah.
When you are a prosecutor like Jack Smith and receive that case, you now have to re-interview those witnesses. You're not going to just take the paperwork and say, okay, Alyssa said this, so that's fine. You've got to do the work yourself. So between the House committee report being released, that was in 2022, they were gearing up against all of this pressure from the other side, appeals, motions,
So what can Jack
legal
Smith
practice.
do now?
Well, now what he has done is he's withdrawn the cases. The judge has said they are withdrawn without prejudice. What that means is you can bring them again. But the problem is, because he's the sitting president, you can't continue the prosecution, and the statute of limitations will likely run out when he's done. So he did what he wanted to do, but the last final point I'll make,
right?
you know, I know that people are most people are saying, well, this was a kitchen table issue. This was about the cost of eggs. Donald Trump never talked about the cost of eggs. He tried to commit a sex act on a microphone. He talked about, you know, pets being eaten.
Yeah.
But when the exit polls were taken, the 92% of black women.
Okay, let's stop here. He tried to do a sex act on a microphone. Okay. Let's stop here for a second. It's amazing how spiritual and how holy these people have become. Because now Donald Trump is a bad person because he tried to do a sex act on a microphone. No, he didn't. But that just shows you how perverted they are. Because it's okay. And I heard this comedian of the day, and he's actually point blank. He says, I'm going to, and I'll have to find it to play it for you, but it's very explicit. But he was talking about how there's two songs. One was triple platinum. And it's called F Me in the Pussy is what it's called. The other one is called Baby, It's Cold Outside. You know, Baby, It's Cold Outside. I think I might go. You know that song? And that song was pulled from radio because it was so bad because it's talking about a guy wanting to stay with a girl, but yet it's okay for this other one to give all this explicit stuff away. Spread your legs, do this, I'm going to do that. But hey, everybody might say, you know, I got to go because, baby, it's cold outside. That's how twisted they are. And, of course, coming from The View, their view is cross-eyed pretty much. But let me go on. Let's listen. Here's this bag trash.
Women that voted for the vice president said that the number one issue for them was January 6th and the fall of democracy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The fall of democracy and January 6th. I'll play you once again my point of view on this.
You called and I answered the phone. Dear Robbie, if Joe calls, don't tell him I found his parents. I'll be back in a few days. See?
This is The View.
Right there.
This is how dumb they are.
XO, XO. That's right, Dirt. Nobody wants you in this town. Nobody wants you around, period. Oh. Look at him, fellas. You crying, boy? You crying, boy? Maybe we'll go back down to McDonald's and get you a Whataburger and some French fries. How about a Weineken? You little sissy boy! Def Leppard sucks!
Okay, yeah, that's The View. That's exactly how I feel whenever they come on and they say, "Oh, well, he tried to commit sex acts with that microphone up there." No, he didn't. Big dummies. But you know what? These are the same ones that's been to the Diddy parties. It's the same ones that have taken up for him and taken up for all the Beyonce and all these other people. What a bag of trash, man. What a bag of trash. It's unreal. But anyway, so we're going to this one here. This is actually right after the election. This is actually Sarah Haynes on the Trump resistance in the aftermath of the election.
Way longer than anything ever should. And then for some of us, we didn't win this election. What we wanted, that was a resistance, and then the votes come in. Right now, I think everyone's not only exhausted from politics, the holidays are a beautiful thing, but they're also a heavy thing for a lot of people. And so we're heading into a place where you need a refilled tank to deal with anything you're dealing with, whether it's grief, loss, or the happy parts as well. And then I think you have to think about what the action of that resistance looks like when things are actually done. Arguably, Matt Gaetz was a resistance because the public scrutiny of that and all of the coverage of that, even Matt Gaetz said when he resigned, this became too big of a distraction. That was resistance. It may just not look like what everyone's thinking it is. Watching this campaign cycle, it felt like it lasted way longer.
The bottom line is they've lost. They know it. No one, anyways, they're big babies. I want to play this. Now, you got to listen very carefully in this. Now, when I told you all, here we go. Here's your intel. When I told you that things were happening, and wouldn't it be weird if the inauguration already happened? Okay. How is that possible? Well, how is it possible? I hadn't seen it on the news. Here we go back to ground one again. Joe Biden, y'all know Joe Biden runs his mouth, right? He runs his mouth too much. The other day, he was like, I've been fired. Who's he been fired by? Well, we know the American people fired him. But anyways, I want to play this. This was over this was day before Thanksgiving, what it was. And I want you to listen to what he says here. If you can understand this guy that mumbles. But anyways.
Family, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for a peaceful transition in the presidency, and I'm thankful for the fact that I think with the...
Let me stop here. I'm going to rewind it here. I want you to hear again. He says, I'm thankful for the successful transition of the presidency.
I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for a peaceful transition in the presidency, and I'm thankful for the fact that I think with the grace of God and good neighbors, with a little luck, we're going to get some more progress in the Middle East. And I'm going.
Why would he let that slip out? I am thankful for a peace, a peaceful. It's done. A peaceful transition of power. Already. Hello, I hope you're hearing me. Oh, it's a conspiracy. Well, you'll find out here pretty soon. That Joe Biden does not just blurt things out. He's probably the most truthful person that we're listening to these days because he just don't know how to keep a secret. He's going back to the drunk people. He's like the drunk person sitting in the bar. What? I peed on myself. They can't whisper. And so they can't whisper. They got to do their thing. And, yeah, unreal. But anyways, so he's doing that and running his mouth. And of course, the other day, like I said, he was going, I've been fired. I came across this. I got to play this for you. I just laughed my head off. This is before the election. This is Kamala Harris and what's that fruit's name?
Hey, Kamala.
Here we go.
What are we going to say to Donald Trump in November?
Mm-hmm.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Hello, motherfucker.
Hey, Kamala.
Yeah, that's about right. What are we going to say about Donald Trump in November? Bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Was it Lance Bass? I don't know what his name is. He's a fruit. But, let me look here. Sorry, I'm reading y'all's comments here. Anyone here think Trump and Elon were bad and they were replaced by unknown people? No, not at all. Let's see here. What else we got here in the chat? We'll look. Like I said, we ain't got nothing better to do today, right? Let's see. Okay. Yeah. No, I knew. Yeah, Joe's brains says, yeah, from his mouth, said, hold my beer. Yeah. Trump is well protected and is real. Yep. Absolutely. Although I do have a little bit of question about Trump when he was with Elon and they were watching the rocket launch. I'm not a big double person there. Everybody's played by a double. But looked kind of strange to me a little bit, but it's okay. What's up? Thanks for coming on. Oh, thank you so much, Indy. What else we got here? Why does everything remain a secret? Okay, here we go. Here's a question. So why does everything have to remain a secret? This makes people think we live in La La Land, especially when you said that the windows were blocked up in D.C. because of and nothing is public. Okay, well, it's been a while since I said that, but I will tell you this. Well, if you're Ray, if you're a short-term listener to the show, you wouldn't understand. If you're a long-time listener, you would understand. Because some things are not just about not just telling the public because you just don't want to tell the public. When there is ongoing investigations, ongoing intelligence, ongoing surveillance, the last thing you want to do is tell the American. Like if I come on this platform right here and I said, here's the next 20 things. Here's the 20 things that are going on right now in America. And here's where you can see them, and here's where you can go and watch yourself. I would put tons of people's lives at risk, all because America just wants an answer. Seriously. Just because, I have to know the truth. Well, why do we have to know the truth right now? We are getting the truth slowly. It's starting to be revealed and taken care of. That's much better than everybody. And I'm not chastising anybody with what I'm saying here. I'm just saying it's much better to handle things right and then expose it versus put all kinds of people's lives at risk. That's the reason why I sit here without a camera on my face, because I do a lot of things, and the last thing I want is being completely noticed and my head blown off. That's how it works. And that's just how it is. Someday, and I'm not saying, when I say someday, I'm not talking in the next 20 years, because we're already seeing the news have to go back and start apologizing. The View's been having to do it. Their legal notes, they call them. Not only that, you're having mainstream media having to report the factual stuff. Not every day, not all the time, but they're having to do it in some places. There will come a time when the news will have no choice but to report the truth. And the thing is the news could report the truth. They could. They choose not to. And then if they do have to report the truth, they have to throw in their snide remarks. And I'll be honest with you, I don't give a rat's ass about their personalities. I don't give a rat's ass about their opinions. They're not there to give us opinions. They're there to give us factual truth. But they can't. They can't give us factual truth. They can't give us that because that's not what they're about. They're about twisting America and about turning America on itself. They would much rather report the doom and gloom of Americans going crazy and rioting the streets and tearing things up. I'm sure they're probably already getting a hard on thinking that something crazy is going to happen at the inauguration. That's why I just said to you, and I said it to you last week, there's going to be an inauguration happen that's not going to happen, that's not going to be public to take place. And then we're going to go into January, and then we're going to see a public thing take place. But if something came down the pike, if something came down and we actually say something happened and we couldn't have an inauguration, that I'm not worried about that. That's not going to happen. I'm just making a statement here. I wouldn't be worried about that because there's things already in place, and I'll tell you why. Because the only way that could happen prior to the technical normal inauguration is the Brunson. And we already know that's already been ruled on. Why hasn't it been made public? Well, because even what one of the Supreme Court justices said, if we release certain things, it's all pandemonium and it's all crazy people going nuts. And if it's dealt with in a different, it's not about just releasing stuff just so everybody gets kick and giggles and watches everything go crazy on the news. It's about being smart, intelligent, and doing things a way that would cause the least amount of damage and the least amount of people being hurt. that's why we're starting to see now, even with these news agencies, they're all being scared. Last week we played them all. They're all being scared with their stories. Like, hey, you got Rachel Maddow or whatever the heck his name is now, starting to break down and cry on TV just for the fact of them saying that, hey, Elon Musk is looking at buying MSNBC, and then freak out. They're about to be unemployed. They're going to be unemployed. And by being unemployed, you know, who's going to want to hire them now that you have almost 100% of America? I mean, it wasn't 100%. So before Reverend Rambo corrects me on this, Captain Asshole, you know, America spoke very loudly. There is no debate. You understand? People want to just correct you. Let me split hairs here. It's like the old days at church. Well, if you had a beard, you couldn't be used. The Bible says be clean shaven. Whatever. Unbelievable. That kind of dumb stuff. Let's split hairs over everything in the world and everything in politics. Let's just split it all up. Because when you split, guess what it does? It divides. Anything that's going to be divisive and cause division in America, we want to try to stay away from that. But at the same time, make sure that law and order is in place. And you're going to get those that are really wanting to see things happen. You're going to get your wish. It's not a hope and a prayer. It's not like a Bon Jovi living on a prayer. That old bat. Nothing like that. It's going to be. You're really going to see what you want. You're going to see it. And those that have cried for so long, I don't know why they done this. I don't know why why are they holding it from us? When you finally start seeing what's been held from you, you're probably going to be one of those that go, oh God, I wish they'd just stop it by now. I got the point. Yeah. But you know what? You wanted the truth. They gave you the truth. Yeah. That kind of deal. Anyways, let's see here. We've had a good chat. Okay. Yeah. And let me see here. Wartime president. Yep. Absolutely. Exactly. Wartime president since military walked behind his inauguration. Right. And when he did not concede the last election. Not this time here, but the time before that. Because I'll get corrected by Reverend Rambo. At that time, the military was live on the news that morning of the inauguration. They said, do you think there's going to be a successful transition of power? And he says, there has been already a successful transition of power into the military. And people still question. People, you know, and that's why I say pay attention to detail, little grasshoppers in room 101. Pay attention to detail, because when you pay attention to detail, you get more intel in detail than you do by someone saying, hey, XYZ, XYZ, because then you want to question, well, how did X get to Z and how did Y? You know, seriously. And like I always say, the show isn't to kiss your butt or to brainwash you. It's to make you think and to figure out things for yourself. And that's what's happening, actually. And I'm just grateful. There's a good community here of people that are listening and actually I've had people sending me stuff that they're researching themselves with just codes and different things, and it's great. It's fantastic because we're learning, we're moving. Prior to this election, 3-4 months ago, there was basket cases over this thing. Scared to death to even go vote. And fear is not of God, right? And fear isn't of God, and you know, perfect love casts out all fear. Anyway, you see here, DC Mark Zuckerberg trying to build an AI data center here in North. Any thoughts? Okay, so the question was, DC Mark Zuckerberg, is trying to build a AI data center here in North Louisiana. Any thoughts? He was just out at Mar-a-Lago and met with Trump. I'm not sure what all that's about, and that I'm really not too much worried about the AI stuff unless you want to get involved in it. And what I mean by that is this: is I have no interest in AI. I have no interest in a robot from Elon Musk. I have no interest in a robot dog to protect property. I'm old school. I'll take silver, gold, platinum, and cash, and I carry that with me. And if I have a bank card, all that stuff, but I don't depend directly upon that because. And think about this. And if you do this, this is your business. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I do. My mindset is this: if all my money is locked up somewhere, and say something did happen, say there was a cyber attack, and say everything was wiped out, then I don't have anything. Or, you ever go to an ATM and it says down, it's shut down, internet's down or whatever, can't get your money, it gives you a little bit of panic. It makes your butt pucker a little bit. Same thing. I prefer to have, cash and, I'll have some money in there to, if I need to, but I don't pound it all in there. And the thing is AI, some of these data things that they're doing will be so, it's almost like, what's the purpose? What is the purpose? Because what is AI trying to really replace? And what are they trying to build? Mark Zuckerberg, I haven't trusted him in a long time. I wouldn't put anything on him. But my thoughts on that is if it's coming in, I don't know. I wouldn't really support it, but whatever. Another one here. Let's see here. If Zuckerberg is meeting with Trump, why am I still losing Facebook pages? I don't understand what that means, but anyways. I didn't say he's still meeting with him. I said he met with him. And Trump come out and pretty much blasted him too. I'm kind of reading your all's chats here. Thank you so much. Sharma 2. Yep, you're getting it. We have been under the biggest military. Okay, so I'm reading somebody's chat here for those on the radio. Great Awakening. We have been under the biggest military sting operation in the world's history. Yep. And if you can't, and if for those that don't want to believe that, they're just, I'm not going to say you're dumb, but I'm just going to say you're really narrow-minded. There's no way to get around what's been going on. Okay. So anyways, yeah. So our guardians, we're going to get back on thankful. I'm thankful that, Donald Trump is president. I'm thankful for all these things. And I am no longer going to be like, hey, I'm thankful that Donald Trump is about to be our president. He's about to be. I'm moving on from that. He is. And he is. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, Donald Trump is your daddy. That's yeah. But anyway, we're getting ready to move into the next segment here and do our call-ins. Don't mean call right now, but here in a few minutes. The other thing is, it's coming out, and you're going to hear more of it, is the fact that, of course, Mitch McConnell is going to be stepping down. But anyways, and I look for Chuck Schumer to either step down or just be removed. And I'm telling you this because of this, because now with all the investigations that's going on, there's $155 million. Okay. You have Mitch McConnell that got $89 million in kickbacks. And also Chuck Schumer. He got, I think he had like $66 million of our tax dollars to Ukraine that was laundered into their pockets. And this isn't just Americans finding this out. This is Ukraine kicking them under the bus. And I told you this was going to happen, because when they realized that the new sheriff is in town and the blank check that was given to Ukraine to just, and I fully believe, I fully believe that this whole thing with Ukraine, Zelensky was purposely placed there because we know he was just a gay actor, dancer and all that fruit stuff. I think he was placed there, and I think this was just a big load of crap to one, because since when did we ever give a rat's ass about Ukraine? But now that we do, and the thing is now that the check has been cut off from Ukraine, or they realize that it's going to be, they're going to start ratting out the people that set them up to where they could get their kickbacks. I believe this. I believe once all of it finishes coming out, that we need to go collect that money from Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, either with their bag ass on a rope, and the money. And I think that money needs to be given back to Americans. Someone asked me, sent an email, since I'm talking on this, because all this money was tax money, you know what I'm saying? Somebody was asking, said, once Trump is in there, are we going to get our, and he does what he's going to do with the taxes. Are we going to get back what we've already paid in? Are we going to get all that back? It's very doubtful. Very doubtful. And I'll tell you why. Because it ain't there. These politicians have laundered it and done things with it. I think it's going to be when we say a reset and a rebuilding. Reset and rebuilding. That's exactly what it's going to be. Doesn't mean, that's what I'm saying. That's another thing. We've had all these different people saying, well, once Trump does this, once Trump does that, once Trump, we're going to have, I'm going to wake up, money's going to be in my bank account and all that stuff. And that's not true. That's just not true. If it is true, it'd be fantastic, but not true. Let's see if I can find it here. I had, the other day, I told you, the other day I told you, I said, I'm going to save this video, save a video that someone had posted online. And what they'd posted online and was talking about, if I can find it here, daggone it. Talking about the Thanksgiving, because he was talking about how we would not be, that Thanksgiving, if you're planning on sitting down with your family and having Thanksgiving, then you really need to think twice, because you're not prepared for what's coming on Thanksgiving. And I saved the video. I'm trying to find it so I can play it for you. But I saved it because I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I told you all that there would be, people saying things and doing stuff. Sorry about that. People saying things and doing things to try to keep everybody stirred up. Plus also, let me look here. Plus also to make everybody scared. And there are people out there that do nothing but post crap on Facebook, TikTok, Telegram, other things. And all they do is they just try to keep people stirred up about, we're going to go into war this week. It's sort of like we're going to go nuclear thing, or the EBS is going to go off. And then when that goes off, we're all going to see this come across the screen. And then we're all going to have to face this and all that stuff. And it don't come to pass. But we still, and then we'll come on this show and go, hey, how come this didn't take place? Like I said it. Like, I didn't say that. Didn't say it at all. I'm looking here. Sorry, guys. Meanwhile, while I'm looking here, this is like, I saw this. I'm going to play it for you. This is actually Star Trek. But this is what the day after Star Trek is like if you were on Star Trek, you know what I'm saying? After Thanksgiving.
Spock, do something.
This is the captain speaking.
What does that smell?
Yes. Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say?
No.
Come on. How...
It's...
I smell gas. You smell that?
Oh, God. Anyway. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Biden pooped himself. That's it. Yeah. I pooped my pants. Yeah. Something that Dan Scavino posted. He says, one of the things I'm thankful for, I am so thankful that the fact that we actually saved America, literally, in this last election. And I couldn't agree with it more. More stuff. There's more stuff coming out with the whole Daystar stuff that we went over about a week ago. More video. I've actually listened to more. There's more that came out. Jonathan is releasing more about that whole deal and that whole shenanigans. And it's pretty disheartening to listen to it. And then, of course, she's got, he was smart because he recorded it all. He just recorded it. And with him recording it, you have his mom, of course, she's cussing and everything else because she's just mad. But the longer I listen to it, because I've had a couple people say, well, you know what? Maybe the fact that with Daystar, all this going on, maybe it's just the fact that he's just mad because he's not the one that was placed in over the network. Well, technically it would be his mom. I get it. But the people that she's bringing in, stuff like that, she's having letters from other ministers to validate why she's doing what she's doing and all this other stuff. And to me, it just seems like she's just trying to smear her kid just so the truth doesn't come out. Not just about sexual assaults and all this other stuff that's coming out, but for other things. So here we go. I told you I was going to find it, and I found it. This is a video the other day, 2 days before Thanksgiving. This is kind of crap I'm telling you about right here, okay?
I need you to listen, and listen very closely to this message.
To this message.
If you are not prepared, meaning you have food, canned food, water, beans, a generator, and enough of that to hold your family over for at least 30 days,
not least,
you might need to cancel your turkey dinner.
You might be a redneck.
I hope you guys are paying attention to what's happening around the world. And unfortunately, in this country, it's sad that people will have to get this news over TikTok. I'll say it again. If you do not have canned food.
All right, I'm done. That's Captain McDouchebag McGriddle. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Just dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, and and those that have asked, prior to all this, I've heard that I can't travel. I've heard I can't travel. This gonna have a, it's okay, guys. Okay, no man knows the day or the hour, right? Let's see here. Dan Crenshaw will retire. What else we got here? All right. So, yeah. Fear point. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. It's just fear. And people just try to instill fear and cause people to panic. And there's probably some people that follow this douche McBaggins and listen to him go, I can't do nothing. I can't. We're going to eat Chef Boyardee for Thanksgiving because shit's hitting the fan. It's those kind of people that do nothing. That one can't even talk, Licking very good here. There could be, at least God. Come on. Are we talking Ebonics or we're talking like plain old English here? I don't know shit. Anyway, yeah, Guardians. Those are your Guardians. Phone lines are open. Let's see. Did you know what when Joni posted her official response on Twitter? Did she block some comments? Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, in the videos, she tried to make it to where it was, or I'm sorry, not the video, the audio, because Jonathan recorded all the audio. And I'm swear, man, his wife is like some little Italian or little Spanish girl. And man, I thought she was just going to go off on her. I was really wanting to. Yeah, T-shirt, Dude Smith Baggins. Hey, believe it or not, it's coming out. Actually, on my phone right now, I got all the proofs of all the shirts, and those will be up on the website tonight for your pleasure. Order you a shirt, support what we're doing here. Those will be up on the website tonight. And EIOBN, not M as in Mary, but N as in Nancy.com. Also, while I'm on that subject, we've had several people, man. Y'all got to slow down. If you're doing Guardians, put in your name, your address, your phone number, and your email address, your correct information. Because as of today, I was forwarded some stuff, and either your mailboxes are full. There was one that was b3wit4gmail.com. We can't send you anything because your stuff is full. You need to clear out your inbox. And the other thing is this. A couple people emailed to our secretary and told her, says, hey, they're kind of agitated because they can't figure out what the whole Guardian thing is, and they pay their money each month and yada, yada, yada. You're on Locals. If you are subscribing through Locals, there's no subscribing to my show or any of this content other than through our website, EIOBN.com. That's the only place to do it. If you're paying $5, $10, $20, whatever it is you're paying to Locals, you're paying it to Locals. You're not getting, don't be mad at us. Be mad at yourself for not listening to this, what I'm saying that I've said several times. We do not get anything from Locals. They take that. We're not getting anything from them. So if you go to EIOBN, that's how you support. Click on Be a Guardian, put in your name, your correct name, your address, your phone number, and email address so we can get stuff to you. Has to be correct. Because, like I said, I'm looking at one here. There's 5 returned emails here. Because just can't do it. Just can't continue to do it. And then you'll type in, well, here's my phone number. You'll send an email back. Here's a different person. Here's my address and my phone number for contact. And then not even put in the address and phone number. So it makes it harder on the secretary to do things. And we don't want to spend hours trying to track somebody down because they keep forgetting to put in all the information. So please do that. And if you put in a phone number, if you put in the wrong informational stuff, we can call you and say, hey, or text, say, hey, can we get the correct information on you? That's how we do that. Anyways, hello, Poor Bottom, Kentucky. Anyway, Christmas party with DC. We're doing that 16th of December, 6 p.m. Go to our website if you can buy tickets. Got a couple more tickets left. It's going to be a fun time. Have some good time there. Trust me, it's going to be good. Let's see here. All right. So, yeah. If you're one of the Guardians, you got the phone number, you want to call in, tell me what you're thankful for. Let's get that party started. Because we're winding down on time here. Because I've rambled so much about my daggone dogs and everything else in America, right? But yeah, we got plenty of things going on. Next week, we'll be starting some new stuff with Christmas. We have some needs that need met. Not me, but we got North Carolina needs and other things that are going on. We are going to ask that you kind of help us a little bit. You don't have to do much, but I think if everybody collectively helps us, we can get our job done. Also, after the first of the year, I told you a couple months ago I had my eyes on a piece of property, also a building and all that stuff. We're moving towards that, making things happen on that. And anyway, it's going to be good stuff. So, I just missed somebody here. Sorry about that. We'll just call them back. How about that? Hello, did I miss your call?
Yeah, hey DC, this is Candace. How are you?
Pretty good. Sorry about that. I was sitting here rambling on the radio and totally missed the call.
Well, I was listening to your ramble.
Yeah.
I have a question for you about all of these legislators who have dual citizenship with Israel and the United States.
Okay.
Now, is that even a legal thing if they're taking an oath to another country to be in our legislation?
Okay. In the past, okay, let me say this. What you're saying is correct. It should not be, because when you take an oath in America, it's an oath to America. I will say this: with the new administration, even though Donald Trump, and even his son-in-law, is from Israel, we're going to see these things change. I've said it over, I keep saying it, but I think this here opens up another little thing here is we're going to see people. It goes down to this: if you're not loyal to America, and I mean like loyal, there's no need for you to have dual citizenship and have one foot in one country, one in the other, because it's no different than, I don't want to go as far as say treason, but it's no different than, you just can't do it. I'm going to say that. You just can't do it. And
well, it seems kind of treasonous if you've taken an oath to defend the Constitution.
Right. And it does. And I was trying not to, I'm leaning that way, but I didn't really want to throw that out there because I have people, oh, he's saying they're treason, but
I said the T word.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm right on board with you. So yeah, I believe that I believe it's wrong. I believe it's wrong, and it's been done for years.
It's not broadcast. Right. But this is not announced. Most people do not know this. And
right.
When it's not out there where you can read, oh, this person has,
right.
Because I would think that the Americans would just, be outraged to hear of this conflict of interest.
Sure.
Huge conflict of interest.
Right.
Huge ethical issue. But beyond that,
oh, absolutely.
It's a threat to national security.
Right. And about four and a half months ago, about 4 months ago, I did a show on this, and I went down and I read all the different people have dual citizenships and how.
Isn't it most of them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how they can do this and still, because there is no, there is no like law that says if they're a senator or governor or someone higher up that they are allowed to have a dual citizenship or either from another country coming, because we have, and I'm 100% dead on this. I hate it that we have other people from other countries that come in and bring those ideologies to America. Period.
Well, they shouldn't be in our legislation.
Exactly.
They should not be legislators.
Exactly.
No, they bring their cultures, they bring their customs, they bring those things into our culture. And albeit maybe we're supposed to be this melting pot, but we also have our own values
right.
that that make us a country.
Right.
I mean, look at Minnesota, how Minnesota has just been like overrun by a particular group of people from a country, so they can't get a conservative vote in there. Probably most of the state is conservative.
Right.
But okay, that was one question.
Let me tag on to this while you're talking about that.
Okay.
And that's the thing is with the Democratic Party also has pushed this for so long, because if you look at a lot of these, AOC, perfect example. She's a terrorist in my eyes. She's just,
and she looks like a donkey.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, her ideologies and she brings a message of hate. She brings a message of divide, that splitting the hair I was talking about earlier, splitting the hairs, making everything divided. She's all, and the thing is this is how you know if they're truly for America or not. When they bring up these things like her, she's a perfect example. Bring up things and they try to split hairs, and if you disagree, then you are the message of hate because you've disagreed with them. Well, that's not what America's about. America is about you can disagree, but you move on. You don't go, well, we disagree. Well, because they didn't agree with me, then they're the problem. They need to be taken out, And that's been the problem with this last election, is because those type of people have been like, well, Trump, he's raising the people and saying, hey, your voice is actually allowed to be heard, and you can. That's what it's about. And they go, oh, well, he's the Hitler. He's trying to do this. He's trying to make them this way. He's trying to cause another revolt. And there was never another revolt. There wasn't a revolt to begin with. It was just a setup with the J6. So, I have a lot to say on that, because It just can't happen. And I think if you're going to be loyal to America, if you're going to be an American, be an American. Don't have one foot in and one foot out, and have other people, because when they have these dual citizenships like this, you know for a fact they have people from their countries that are in their ear and in their wallets.
Absolutely.
And by that, it makes it puts us on the treasonous line there, because it's like, it was like Kamala saying, well, I went to, this before the election, I went to Ukraine. I sat down with Zelensky and I took to him, and she said it right in the debate. She goes, and I took classified documents to him.
Yeah, classified. That was pretty hilarious, and nothing happened.
Right. Well, not yet. Not yet.
Not right.
When you can't really. Another thing is too is you can't really expect things to happen when everything has been all Democratic ran. And right. I think,
and it's been a long time coming. If you look at how they have changed the culture, it's like the lobster in the pot, turning the heat up slowly. I remember back in the 70s, we would, have drag out arguments about politics, and then we'd all leave and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have a difference of opinion. You could, make fun of each other, and you laughed at yourself. And they've turned this whole thing into everybody's offended, this political correctness garbage,
mm-hmm.
to where, there can't be difference of opinion, or it's personal, and the attacks that you were talking about, like you said this, so now you're a bad person,
right.
or right. So they've done that over the past 30, 40 years.
Right.
They've done a really good job with that.
Absolutely. And of course, somebody just commented, Harley Chick says, DC, what is the motivation for having the dual citizenship? There shouldn't be any. The motivation for that is money and power, and trying to bring it's just honestly, it's trying to sow discord. It's just it. Because if you're not an American and you're not loyal to America, then get the hell out. Go back home. Go back. And the thing is, AOC's perfect. I mean, she's always sympathizing with these Palestinian people and everything else. And I'm sorry, if you're an American and you push that agenda, if you love it that much, you need to go be a part of it in their country.
Well, is it true that Israel lost their lease, or their corporation expired the end of October of last year?
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true.
Right. And so now whatever's going on is, it seems to just be there's something playing out here.
Sure.
Is it also true that Israel has a great population of the Khazarian mafia, the mob, the cabal, the whatever you want to call them, that are living in Israel? Not we the people, but
right,
the leader.
Right. You're talking about the leaders of that. Yeah.
Correct.
I wouldn't say all, but yeah, there is a good population of it. And I kind of weigh. I have to be careful with Israel because I don't really hold back a lot with my mouth and my feelings and what things that I know. And I was literally talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about, we got to pray for America. Pray for Israel. We got to cover Israel. We got to do this. And I said, let me ask you a question. I have no problem, because I know the religious world and the church is really big on it, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. There's like, well, that Israel is God's chosen place and all that. Okay, whatever. That's your argument. I'm not going to argue with you with that. But my point is this. I said, so if Israel, first of all, I think Israel needs to quit picking fights they can't handle. Two, yeah. And two, I think the reason why they continue to pick fights that they can't handle is because they know that America is going to try to have their back. And at some point, when and I told him, I said, well, gosh, we got to do more than pray. That's what the conversation was. We got to do more than pray. We got to protect them. We got this. I said, even in their bad behavior, what happened to consequences for bad behavior? Why is it that and I'm not, anybody that's going to disagree with me, I'm not here to pick a fight with you. I'm just telling you the truth here. Why is it that now, because even though we can say, are we using this thing as an excuse? Well, they're God's chosen people, so we have to protect them no matter what they do to other people, no matter what. I'm sorry, that's not right. It's just not right that we, because if we're about doing God's work, quote unquote, and doing what's right and not doing what's wrong, then why do we step into things that are wrong and still protect it? And I have a fine line on that of what I believe, but anyways, but yeah.
Well, my understanding is that prior to the cabal coming in and setting up Israel as whatever this territory, that the Palestinians and the Israelis, they just all live side by side in peace.
Right.
And now at this point, there's all of this war that was perpetuated in the region, and clearly it's got to be about waterway access.
And I think it depends on who you get the history from and who you get the stories from, because you'll have one side. Man, I could go so deep in this right now, and I could really tick a lot of people off. But my daughter lived in Israel.
Though.
My daughter lived in Israel, and by being in it, she lived there, and so every day around 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, she would FaceTime me. Talked every day, several times a day. And man, I'm going to tick a lot of people off, but here I go. Israel is a very great marketing country. And what I mean by this is they have used the whole Holy Land, all these things for profit. It's the biggest money maker. I mean, and 9 times out of 10, they're taking you to places that really, truly, weren't what they say they were. And it's
I'm questioning all of this at this point.
Right. And I'm not, and that's the thing is I have a wide audience here, and I'm not trying to, if someone is from there or what, I'm not trying to dismantle what you believe. I'm telling you from my perspective and having a family that's lived there. Part of it's a scam. I'm just going to say it. And it's all about how can we sell the history of Jesus to people that they come here, spend a ton of money, and we give them just a few things and make them feel we bring them here to validate their religious belief when they don't even believe that.
It's really quite brilliant if you think about it, as far as a moneymaker, as far as marketing, and as far as very genuine people who want to go and
most definitely
experience that. But what if it's over here and they've been going over there for it?
My daughter said that. My daughter, because I had some friends that took a church trip over there. And when they got there, they're like, hey, we want to hook up with your daughters. Okay. So they hooked up with her. And they're like, oh, well, we want to go to here. We want to go there. She goes, why do you want to go there? Well, this is where such and such happened in the Bible. She's like, you're wrong. Once you live here, you realize what's the true sites and what's the money, the monetization sites. And you realize that. And of course, people that have been, I'm big on Bible history. I know this or that. No, what your history that you've learned on is what has been told to you. That's not really learned history. If you really want to learn history, take your rear end over there and live there for about 5 years and figure it out, and then write your book on history, because what you're reading is what someone else has posted or not posted, but put in production and made and all that. Now, I am not anti-Israeli, so people don't start on that. And
I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing you trying to give us the truth of what your experience.
Well, I know, I'm just saying that because I'll get people. Yeah, absolutely, and I'm just saying that because I'll get people that don't listen to what I say and take 2% of it and then try to go off on it. And the only reason why I can say what I can say is because I've known for a fact, I've seen pictures from not just somebody else, but from my daughter. She witnessed so many things that were horrible while she was there. Just violence and things. I mean, she would call me sometimes and she'd be like, you won't hear from me for several hours because we're going in bomb shelters, and all these crazy things going on. And for a parent, you're like, oh my gosh.
That's terrifying.
You're like, how can I get them out? And you can't get them out because there's nobody flying at the moment. And the other thing that blows me away is why people still want to take trips there right now when everybody's getting shot at and bombs are going off. Oh, and I get it. They try to encourage people to have faith. Well, we just got faith that God's going to protect us. Well, that's fine. I understand that, but you still have these nut jobs that run around doing things. And it's like, when does the religious community start using a brain instead of trying to go to Israel to spend their money? Because heck, if they want to do that, I'll create my own holy land and I'll call it whatever, and I'll sell them a ticket. You know what I'm saying? I'm about monetization. I'll make some money off of them. I'm not going to do that.
Pretty smart.
But
right.
But yet, and you have to figure out this: who is getting the money? Who is getting the money for making this a monetized thing in Israel? It goes back to the group that you asked me about, to that mob, to that cabal stuff. It goes back to them. What a great way to monetize on something that you're guaranteed every year. Hundreds of thousands of Christian communities or people are going to come in and spend a buttload of money over there. You know, they're going to buy, look, we call this the anointing oil from Israel, and it's like 1 ounce, and you spend $40 for it. Well, my God, that's pretty daggone cool. I mean, good Lord, I'll fart in a bag and send someone and tell them it's a bag of roses. You know what I'm saying? If I did it in Israel, I'd sell it like crazy. Here, I can't sell it. I mean, it's like, seriously, I could walk over the can of a jar, and go through the air and say, and then seal it up, put it online, put a label on it, nice label, looks really good, and says, the air from Holy Land. And people would buy it. They would buy it because they're like, oh my gosh, that's the air that Jesus breathed. I mean, and it's not. It's just how it's sensationalism, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. But anyway, like I said, I have a ton of rabbit holes I can go down.
Follow the money. Yeah, right. It's a follow the money thing.
Right.
I jumped on at 2:00 because I missed the first part. So I don't know if you addressed Brunson at all. I had read something today talking again about Brunson and this ruling. And when I go digging to find things about Brunson, there's not much out there you can find about it.
It's not.
Like it's deliberately hidden.
And it is.
Yeah. So I've heard from, say, another podcaster that there was a ruling on it maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's one of the theories out there. And something happened a week before the election. And I wondered if it had something to do with that, because I had been just scratching my head about what happened a week before the election, because Trump turned into a total boss.
Right.
A week before the election.
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
Can you shed light on that? Oh,
absolutely. Please. Because I did a show on this, one of our shows, and I prior to the election, I was like, stop. And I was telling people that were really worried. Hey, stop panicking over this election. Stop panicking over the fact that, your vote's going to be safe. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to have fraud.
That was your evening one, right? That was your evening one?
No, this was a daytime one. I did two.
Okay.
And I said, you're going to see the fraud. You're going to see, but don't worry because it's already caught.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada. And do not panic because Brunson has already ruled.
Right. Okay. And so it's just a matter of it being rolled out in the right time as far as
and that's what we was talking about earlier. Yeah, that's what we was talking about earlier.
Okay.
And before you got on the show, because I was talking about that, I said, because someone had asked, why aren't we held in the dark? Well, because of panic and because of also on top of that, nut jobs. And it's not a thing of we just want to hold everything from Americans because we think they're big babies that can't handle it. We believe they can. We've seen the Patriots show up like never before and by record numbers, and we voted for Donald Trump and we put his butt back in there. And there's a small percentage that voted for Kamala, but the small percentage is bad apples that will go out and stir the poop pot. The difference is either everything can just be, and you think about this, if everything was just exposed crazily, like today, all we saw was everything in the news of how everything with Kamala Harris, everything with Biden, everything with all these crooked politicians, there would be so much stuff. I would spend the next 6 months trying to help people decipher what just took place. And then because America has a problem of this, I want to know the truth. I want to know it now. And then when they give it, then they still question it because they have been we have been born and raised to never believe. Don't believe. Don't believe. That's why when you say, well, Trump is still our commander-in-chief, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe. Prove to me. And then you give them example after example and executive order after executive order, and they still go, I just still don't believe it. Well, it's not a belief of, it's not really a thing of you truly have to have facts. It's a thing of you just don't want to believe nothing because we've been born
Well,
and
the
raised.
only thing that makes sense with everything that has transpired is that Trump is the commander in chief
Right.
and that we are in a military operation. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Most definitely. And I've proved it over and over and over and over, hundreds of times. Brad Barton has done it. And I don't really, I mean, other podcasters may, that's fine. But that's what I stand on my own intel, my own message, and that's what I do.
Yep.
And I know for a fact what's been happening. And I've been trying to convey it. And sometimes you can't, when you're dealing with intel stuff, you can't just come out and just say, here's what I know, because there's people that know that there's only maybe 4 or 5 people that may know a specific information. And if they know it came from that group, then you'll get your butt handed to you. And so with all that, but yeah, the Brunson has ruled. It's a matter of just when they decide. I don't know that time. They could come out today and say, hey, pop, just a press thing go out, and then all the news like, hey, Brunson case just ruled. I don't think it's going to happen that way. But that's why earlier I played Joe Biden letting and I said this the other day too. Don't be surprised. There's going to be an inauguration happen, and it's going to happen prior to what we're about to see here in a couple of weeks, because of Brunson. And then you have Biden yesterday, and I played it earlier, and him come out and he was like, I'm thankful that we've had a successful transition of power. Why would he say that at a Thanksgiving Day deal? And then prior to that, the day before, what does he get up and say? They told me I've been fired. Why would they tell him he's been fired? You know what I'm saying? There's all these different things. These are the details that make the difference. And that's why I push on the show, pay attention to the details. Don't pay attention to the whole great big message that podcasters will give you for hours long of this and this. Pay attention to the details, because the details make the difference, and the details make common sense, and it gives you facts.
Well, exactly. So these things are all little clues, and if you can pick up those little clues,
right,
it's hard to kind of keep track of all of them, but that's where it helps to listen to you, and you pull that together for us, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and had a good conversation. It's good stuff. I'm glad that that Americans are actually coming together and thinking about this stuff, and truly trying to grab hold and finally start to. And there's a lot of people that reach out to me and say, hey, my family members just think I'm kooky, I'm nuts, And I said this prior to the election: stop trying to convince people now. Because the people, when they finally come out and go, hey, why didn't I know about this? Don't even deal with it. Be done with it. If people don't want to know, don't worry about it. Move on.
They'll figure it out soon enough.
Absolutely. And then they'll go back and go, well, why didn't you tell me? You're like, well, I've been trying to tell you. You just didn't want to listen.
Well, that's when we say, told you so.
Yeah, absolutely. Told you so. Absolutely.
All right. Well,
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right. Yeah, good conversation. Good deal. Yeah. So, man, we got some time. Okay. We're good. So who's running the country right now? Well, we've already answered that when we talked about military. Yep. There you go. There's your answer. CIC and military. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go ahead, and I know I'm running over here, but I'm going to answer this. So Mexico's military and police have already started blocking the illegal alien caravans. Yeah, you're exactly right. Because, and we talked about this day before Thanksgiving, but how they are, Trump's had phone calls with all these different, presidents, prime ministers, all this stuff. You got Canada that's really butthurt right now. They just can't believe that America, that has been their so-called friend, would actually put tariffs on them, and Mexico too. And of course, I know Mexico, they made some comments that, well, some of these other companies that are here, we'll just make gigantic tariffs on them. That way America's going, there's nothing that Mexico can do to really hurt America. Okay. Even Canada. I mean, even shipping and all that stuff. If they want to do that, because I believe what's happening is Trump is pushing it to where Americans go, you know what? Hey, let's go back to the day we actually had manufacturing plants. Let's go back to the day when we actually built things for ourselves instead of getting it from China. Because you have people like Elon Musk in that's going to be in positions that have brains. And not only that is going to attract other people that have brains to come on board and to help things with technology, with building, with manufacturing, all these things. Wouldn't it be crazy? Think of this, America, of the United States becoming self-sufficient again and actually having jobs for its people, not for the illegals, not for that stuff, but for people of America. Wow, think of that. Guess what? It's time to wake up, because that's where we're going back to. We're going to go back to a time when we actually had jobs, had retirements, had things. Because if you're just waking up to this show, you realize that the Democratic Party for years has screwed you up the butt with no courtesy at KY. Through taxes, everything else that's stolen from us, those days are gone. Those days are gone. And those that don't want to believe that, no problem. Don't believe it. Instead of you taking any kind of breaks that Trump's going to give you, we'll just continue to leave you on the Democratic mindset and the Democratic pay scales, right? But it'll be those that go, well, what about diversity? What about me? I need to get something. No, if you refuse, that's why I said if you go voting for Kamala and you really want that crap bag that was in there, you want her, you know what? You need to still live by her rules and her regulations. But you won't, because when your stuff starts taking turns and we start having a better economy and a better America, then you'll be wanting to jump on board with it. But anyway, whatever teaches. Anywho, I went a little late today. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let's see. A conversation with my cousin about an arguing. I told her that you will find out. Told her you need to get housework done. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Is it true Special Forces stop deep state Project Blue Beam plans for Christmas? Absolutely. Absolutely. That is absolutely facts. When will we not pay income taxes? Well, I think if Trump does what he's wanting to do, I think you're going to have a better year. I know you'll have a better year next year. I know we're going into a better place. Anywho, let's see here. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'll be back Monday. This Friday. Yeah, Monday. And we'll be jumping back on our great big old soapbox of America. One more question here. Sorry about it. I'm going to answer this. What will happen to landlords who have rented apartments to illegals? Those are about to no longer be landlords. And we're going to see people, and I've said this several shows, you're going to see people that have been doing dumb stuff to Americans that are going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it. I don't think you understand, America, that there is a new sheriff in town. He's bringing law and order. And if you have been a sympathizer, and what I mean by sympathizer is someone that is taking up for these illegals and knowing that they have been violent rapists, murderers, all these things, there's a price to pay. Nothing's free. And those landlords that have done all this stuff and it's all for the money, trust me, they're going to have to pay. Probably not going to pay with their life, nothing like that, but they're going to pay. They're going to pay it back to America. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Had a great day today. Sorry I didn't get everybody's name and address and phone number on this deal. Just kidding. But I didn't call out your states, but it's okay. It's a one-off. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Black Friday, people ask me about that. Is there any news on that? Yeah, there's news on that. You're not going to hear it right now, though. But there's a lot of things going down that started early this morning. When I say early this morning, I'm talking like 2 a.m. 2 a.m. and it's going and going and going. We'll figure it out. I'll talk to you about it more Monday. But anyway, if you're not a guardian, be a guardian. We need you on board to help what we're doing. Next year, we'll be moving into a permanent location. We'll be able to have our conferences there. Everything's going to be great. Also, next week, we'll be jumping on our Christmas stuff. Got through Thanksgiving with North Carolina. We're going to do more Christmas. If you want to be a part of the Christmas party, it's going to be in Nashville area, Hendersonville. Information is up on our website. If you purchase tickets, be sure and put your name and address and phone number in there and your email address. And same with Guardian. Be sure you put all that in there. Correct information always gets you my information back to you. Anyways, pray you have a great day. Stay out of trouble and love each other. Have a great day. DC out.